Yeah, can you see the screen? Is it visible?
Yeah,
Okay. Grace, can we start or should we wait a little bit more
Maybe
time?
wait for 5 minutes, I
Yeah,
think.
sure.
no.
No, I stopped.
Should we start?
开始吗，老大？还是再等一会儿
不用等，准时开
？OK，
始。就是
那那让诗诗先开始主持一下，开头。OK，
Okay. Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome to this special online sharing session. My name is Shishi, and I'm the volunteer event host tonight. And I'm thrilled to join you all today to delve into this amazing world of smart city. Before we kick off, let's break the ice with a fun activity, introductions. And please share your name, where you're from, which industry you're working on, and what you are looking forward to in the realm of the smart cities. Let's get to know each other a bit better before we officially start. And who wants to start to introduce first? Okay.
Only
Yeah.
me.
Probably
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can go first if no one
Yeah, sure.
want to like yeah. So yeah, as my sake, like I'm the volunteer to host this event. But my like full-time job is a digital artist in the advertisement company. So I joined this meeting because I studied architecture and urban design before, and I think maybe there is some connections between this topic. And also because I know there's a trend about the smart cities, so I really want to know like others fields, like what other people thinking, and I think communication is very important. Yeah, so that's why I'm here. And who wants to be the next?
Me. Hello, Lucy. My name is Yizhou. Yeah, I'm the founder of the CUK Run. I'm always interested about the entrepreneurship. I'm very interested in your business model. I would like to talk about it more in detail later. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe me for next. My name is Grace, and I'm currently help organize event for CUKRUN, and I'm also responsible for this event. And thank you, Shishu, for being willing to help with the work of the host. And yeah, I'm very interested to know more about the story about the TRC, and very looking forward to the real health sharing. Yeah.
Should we just follow the order? And yeah, I see there's some, I guess, maybe Yuan, do you want to introduce yourself? Do you want to like open mic and just like briefly introduce yourself? That would be fine. Anyone? Anyone want to say something? Like Ella and Yuxing, I can say the name there. Don't be shy.
It's Hi, my name's Ella. It's just not very convenient to video at the moment, but I'm interior designer. I'm happy to um talk my experience, maybe relate to the like to your talk. Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay, that would be fine. And yeah, so if it's not convenient to speak through the mic, you can also type anything you want in the chat. So maybe we just move to the next step. And if people want to introduce yourself, just tap in the chat. So next up, although you may already know some information from event description link, and I have the great honor of introduce our distinguished guest today. Mr. Rohes, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Rohes. Is that right?
Yeah, that is actually much better than I expected.
So, yeah, he is the Chief Executive Officer of TRC. And yeah, so he will introduce more about the TRC company later. And he will bring a wealth of global experience and unique insights into the realm of smart cities. Now let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Rohes as he shares his fascinating perspectives on the transformative potential of smart cities. So I will gonna hand over this presentation to Mr. Rohes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shishi. Sorry, guys, I'm spoiling your Friday evening, I guess. Maybe that might be the reason everybody of us is down in December. Thanks for hosting us. So I'm Rohit. I come from a engineering background. I did my bachelor's in mechanical, and then I started working in building power plants, particularly the thermal solar power plants across the world. I started my journey in India actually, and then moved on to the US, then to the Middle East, going through the sectors in the construction and as well as building the power plants. So my journey with TRC started like just before the COVID. And my co-founder, he's Chinese. Unfortunately, he's in China at the moment, so he can't join. His name is Martin Wong, and we both used to work in a startup that was redefining how last mile delivery is being done in London. So both of us are based in London, actually. And then he started studying in Imperial on his PhD, particularly in developing artificial intelligence models for how transportation can be built in urban cities like London, New York, Paris. So during which we started talking more about how we can implement artificial intelligence into smart cities, and at the same time, how we can redefine how smart cities are being defined at the moment. So that's how our journey started. In short, what we are trying to achieve is city as a service. To make it more clear example, think of it as if like you're on App Store, like Google Play or Apple Play. Apple Store, iTunes. The fact that cities has a vast amount of data, but they're not able to monetize, and they're being exploited by companies like, let's say, Uber or like big corporations who just take what they want and leave the city in the balance. And this is where our platform comes into play, and that's what I would like to introduce you today. Let me show you a little bit about the problem we are facing with the cities. There is a saying like too many chefs in the kitchen spoil the broth. That's exactly what's happening with the cities. There are like multiple applications that you see in day-to-day life that more or less is useless. For example, take if guys who are living in London, I know that you must have used a ton of ride-hailing apps, Uber, Bolt, Ola, Free Now, and stuff. But the fact that everybody offers the same service, and more importantly, the same vehicle is being used in multiple platforms, gives you a kind of opinion. Why do you need this many applications? And what's the point in it? Like, just because you bought a high-end phone doesn't mean you need to download these many applications. Same way with, let's say, water bill, electricity bill, like council taxes, all the stuff. Now, all of this is creating more and more complicated, even for the cities, not knowing what exactly is happening or what exactly the resident wants. For example, take example of London. Again, I want to focus on London partly because this is where we are based as a live case, and this is what we want to focus. London has been spending almost like $1 billion a year just on the transport. And still, you see in the news that TfL is going bankrupt and they want some kind of assurance from the central government to run. Now, you might wonder what exactly is happening. Like, let's say yesterday I read a news that London crossed 4 million rides a day, which is like a huge achievement. That means they must have made a lot of money. But again, what's the problem? Why are they not profitable? And cities are not built to make profits. At least they are not supposed to be in debts either. And this is where we realized after talking to a lot of mayors across the world, like what's happening is most of it is lack of intercommunication between departments. And most of the time, the data never travels between one department to another. Either it may be ego or it may be due to traditional way of having these systems designed back in 1980s. And this is where we would like to build a solution focusing on. So our solution is called CAS platform. The primary aim of this platform is to centralize all the data that allows city representatives to make real-time decisions powered by artificial intelligence. Now, why would we want to do it? There are a couple of reasons why the data needs to be centralized. And most of the audience here are from China. So I would like to give a better example, which is WeChat, which actually makes most of the life more easier for anyone who is residing in China, or Alipay. Let's say you want to just book a flight. You don't need to go to Expedia or booking.com. You want to book a train, or let's say you want to use a public transport. All you do is click WeChat and you would be able to do every service that you can think of in your daily life. And this is exactly what most of the cities in the Western world needs it. And this is where I would like to say China has been like forefront in this kind of approach, enabling companies to think forward. While here, you would see a lot of red tape, bureaucratic process, stopping the cities like not knowing what exactly they need to build or what exactly they want to give to the residents. And this is where our platform comes into play. We would like to centralize every service that is necessary for a resident in a city on a daily basis. It can be transport, it can be planning your journey, it can be paying your taxes, it can be paying your water bill, it can be just, let's say, getting a service from the government. Imagine when you can order food or like get things delivered in less than 10 minutes. Why can't the city deliver the similar kind of response or the services? After all, you're paying the taxes for the same reason. Guys, if you have any questions, you're free to stop me anytime, or if I'm going too fast as well. So this is where we would like to introduce CAS. The reason why we named CAS is to mention or give an idea to the cities that this is a service. It's not like an enterprise platform, or it's not like it just one of their many softwares that they're using under ERP. The aim of this is the platform becomes like a brainchild of the city, not only allows them to scale the service that may generate more revenue at lower cost, but also centralizes the vital data that can be monetized either by giving it to the researchers or selling it to companies like Uber to create better algorithms. We leverage our artificial intelligence not only to analyze patterns, but also add more functions to the city. For example, one of the city we work with has used our live chat platform that rechanged the whole way the city mayor was interacting with the residents. We're also pushing the cities to be able to track the carbon footprint, particularly on the sustainable level, and see where exactly the mistakes are being happening that is creating more pollution in the cities. So this is a product that we have at the moment, which we already built. We focus primarily on the transport because this has been the core issue that we were able to realize after talking to a lot of mayors. So we started with the transportation to understand the pattern, usage, behavior. So what we did was we created like white label micromobility platform, on-demand transports, trip planner like you must have used Citymapper. And then we created open APIs that allows researchers in the universities belonging to that city to access the data, to understand and create more robust papers, convincing the city why they need to change to smart cities. The future roadmap that we are looking to have is to integrate more and more services into our platform. That includes, which I just mentioned earlier, like housing, automated drone delivery systems, healthcare. It can be like taxes, e-governance, businesses, everything that you can think of. So that's the aim of the whole platform here. Now, you might wonder who exactly would be the primary users of this. Again, so our product is very flexible, adaptable, and sustainable. So it's not limited that our clients exclusively come from B2Gs like the governments. We are actually open to talking to companies that are providing services to these cities. Recently, we have been working with Microsoft on building a platform that tracks Thames Water usage, and also the wastage of the sewage. This is to create a open source platform for the government of UK to understand where exactly the water is being wasted, why most of these companies are on the verge of bankruptcy. Not only this, you must have seen a lot of news like Birmingham going bankrupt, Northampton going bankrupt. Like coming from a city like UK, like a country like UK, which has been forefront in terms of the development, it must be surprising for us to see on the newspaper that a local city is going bankrupt, and not because they don't have the money. It's because of the decisions that were not taken on real time, costed them billions of dollars, which they never even realized until recently. This is a product demo just for you guys to understand. The idea behind the platform is it should be simple and easier because cities doesn't have a lot of IT teams. So what we tell them is it's a drag and drop. Whatever the services they have, whatever the features they want, they just click, drag, and pull it onto the screen. Automatically, it gets connected, deployed. Simultaneously, it also gives the people who is making the real-time decisions to see how the whole system works. It is as powerful as a human can think of. It not only allows you to create decisions, it also helps and assists the mayors on what kind of initiatives that they promise to the residents and how much has been achieved and what needs to be done before the next elections. And that's the aim of this. This is the team behind the whole thing that came up. Everyone comes from a diverse background. As you can see, I'm partially the tech guy, but the other three people come from a very high diverse background. Zilong was one of the first batch of engineers while developing the Ali Cloud back in 2010. Neo is like a CTO for the last 25 years. Martin is the dropout from Imperial PhD on the artificial intelligence, which I just mentioned. He's the co-founder. Again, going back to the story, which I said, when we started, we realized there is something that needs a proof for the people to understand whether this can be achieved or not. So what we did was we went into the cities blind. We told them like, guys, look, this is what's happening in your city, but most of you have no clue how to monetize it, how to create more sustainable ways. And most of the cities rejected us. Let's say like out of 10 cities we went, 9 cities said no. But then came the city called Neom, which everybody must have heard of, the $1 trillion city that is being built from scratch. This was the first city that actually understood the idea and the vision, what we wanted to achieve. And it so happened to be the same time that they had a vision 2030 in creating the one line city where everything will be in a straight line in a span of 170 kilometers. Fast forward now, we are one of the only startups that actually broke Neom's barrier and created them the platform that allows them not only to monitor, but build on top of it. So we became the basement foundation for them to create services on top of it. And ironically, the company that is actually building it is Alibaba there on behalf of Neom. Some other cities, some other companies that we have been working with in the last few years are these. This is in Turkey, and this is in Poland, and this is, again, comes from Middle Eastern projects. So this is how we expanded our product. As I said, our aim is not to build everything overnight. As we all know, Rome is not built overnight either. So we have a long vision explaining how cities can be built more modern, at the same time sustainable. We launched some of our smart transport, smart parking, and open data platforms in few countries across the globe, just to understand what kind of services or how the people in those cities or in those countries tend to use the service in different. And using that data, we are training our algorithm to be more robust, at the same time more powerful to give real-time decisions. This is the market size of the smart cities, and it's just growing crazy at the moment because everyone wants to become digital. Everyone wants to prove to the people that they're bringing technology. And I think there is no need to mention about how OpenAI took by storm in the last year when everybody was like thinking AI is just another tool or like a chatbot. So right now it became a hot topic that everything, if AI is down, OpenAI is down for like, let's say 30 minutes, the whole world is stumbling upon to find a way to how to mitigate the risk. And this is how the smart cities would be in the next future. And we believe this is the right opportunity to open more research and learn about how we can develop or design the whole systems. Our target market happens to be smaller cities. There is few reasons for it, because when we talk to cities like London, there is a lot of bureaucratic process. There is a lot of parties involved. For example, when we were engaging with London, we were talking with EY, KPMG, let's say Deloitte. So everyone is roped in as a consultant just to understand whether smart city can be achieved in London in the next 5 years. However, when we go to small cities, let's say in Poland or in France, those cities doesn't have much budgets in the first place to choose how to create a solution like this. And we were able to get letter of intent or like ready to launch the projects in less than 24 hours. And that's the kind of appetite that is there in the market at the moment. This is the competition that we are facing at the moment. It's kind of like direct and indirect competition, partly because most of the companies that you see in the indirect, Cisco, Huawei, Siemens, they only do full-scale EPC turnkey projects. They don't give the flexibility or let's say the cities to control or choose. I think you must have been aware of Huawei moving out of Europe completely as part of their new strategy, because Huawei used to be a serious threat to us. They used to come into the cities, offer everything for free, saying, oh, you don't need to pay a penny, but we will take all the data. But things changed because even Huawei realized it's not cost effective anymore, and they wanted to balance it by focusing more on China. Same way with Cisco in the US, Siemens in the Europe. They only work with cities that has big budgets, and primarily they're targeting tier 1 cities. And that's one other reason why we never wanted to touch them yet. And in terms of the direct competition, and this is the funny part, because these companies has been in the market for a while. However, they were never been able to label themselves as smart city providers because they only can do project basis rather than creating a platform or an ecosystem like us. For example, SAIS only does open data. Valo does smart street lighting platform in the UK. Unisystem is in Greece, and they do something like energy and water meters and open data platforms. And this is where we are strategically located in the center of it. It allows us to create more and more in-depth understanding on how the ecosystem or the platform that we are trying to build is gonna kind of redefine the whole market in the future. Yeah, and this comes the billion-dollar question: how do we make money, or how exactly we want to charge the cities? Again, most cities are not rich. Most cities can't pay any fees. So what we did was we implemented a very simple model, API-based pricing, just like how you use Google Ads. Let's say the city has a resident of 50,000 people, and assuming they use basic services like transport, like you tap in the TFL, or let's say you just open to check your water readings, meter readings and stuff. And that itself can generate a minimum of $61,000 a month. Now, as the usage grows, the cost of the whole city will reduce drastically, and allowing us to monetize and become more profitable in the short-term growth. And for the grow plan and the build custom plan, the reason why we had to bring this into the fold is the fact that some cities has specifically requested their pain points on which services they would like to launch with initially. And that's why we wanted to give them the opportunity to choose something custom, which not only generates revenue, but also gives them a peace of mind to understand whether this kind of solution can actually work for them or not. We are trying to raise 1.2 million pounds in the seed round, because we have like a couple of projects that are lined up, which is around like 10-year contracts. And we are looking to expand into more different countries at the moment due to the inbound leads exceeding our expectations. And as for the exit, this is the financials, but I would like to talk more on the exit plans. This is the funny part. Like, even though we are still a startup, we have been approached by cloud companies who wanted to see and work with us, asking whether we would choose them as the preferred cloud provider to the countries that we are likely to go. Particularly, Google and Tencent has been an active player in this space, trying to make a name for themselves and beat AWS. And as for the other places where we found a lot of traction is from the Middle East. They want to collaborate on the university projects, particularly trying to build IoT-based AR or auto driving of the cars, these kind of stuff using our platform. Yeah, so that's us in a short, guys.
Yeah. Can I ask questions?
Yeah, this is what I'm looking for.
So you say this API, who is the user of this API?
The governments or the cities.
City.
Yeah.
But you say the user, for example, the city of the 500,000 people.
Yeah, 50,000. Oh, okay. Let me give you a little bit clarity. Maybe I missed the topic. So most of the cities has their own applications at the moment. However, those applications are more like information basis rather than actually making the resident use it for daily purpose. Now, our solution, our platform makes those applications more user focused. For example, they can use the application to book a train ticket for TfL, or to book a taxi, or to, let's say, to pay to the council taxes. So right now, none of the cities has it. Most of the cities is using a open source digital hybrid platforms. And our platform is going to be the plugin that allows the cities to deploy them. So when user, let's say, let me give you a case study. Let's you as a user wants to park a car in London. So you need to download an app called Ringo, and sometimes you download some other thing. However, there is a city app that shows you where the parking is. However, it doesn't allow you to pay for the parking. So that's why you had to juggle between multiple apps. Now, our platform gives them the plugin that allows the resident or user to pay and reserve the parking space through the city app rather than downloading other applications.
Okay. So the user just use one app, that is a city app.
Yeah, you can say super app.
This city net, use your plugin, connect to other applications.
Yeah.
So when the user use the city app, they will pay you the money.
Yes, the city receives the money first.
Oh, okay. I see. So you need to talk to a lot of providers.
No, and that's the beauty of it, because city is the one that makes the policies for those providers, right? So the providers has an obligation to share the data to the city. And right now, most of the cities are getting the data in the hard form, like by email or by report on a monthly basis, like how many parkings are done, how many users has been fined, penalized, all of this stuff. So now our platform will ask the end companies to connect their APIs directly to the city servers. So giving them the real-time access of what is happening. And if that said provider doesn't agree to it, they will never get renewal of their license.
Oh.
So we won't be in the front. We will always be behind the scenes because we want the city to be in control of the data. And that's why the cities love it, because it looks like as if it belongs to them.
Okay. So the government own the city app.
Yes.
You provide the
plugins.
Yeah, city app.
Yeah, it's a plug and play. That's why we call it as a plug and play.
Oh, I see. Oh. But the server, the city app, the server is the cloud server is owned by
city. It's all again, yeah. Because we don't want to take the liability under the GDPR regulations. So what we do is we tell to the city that we can help them to set up the server on the cloud spot, but we will not have access to the data. We will only use the data to train the algorithm, but not access it. And that's where the platform has certain role-based restrictions of data accessing. So the whole liability will completely belong to the city. And this is why we had to talk to multiple countries, because each country has their own legislation. For example, Turkey doesn't allow you to use cloud service. It needs everything in the country on their database. Yeah. So for them, we already built a solution which is hybrid, which allows us to deploy everything on the ground for them. And we charge a license fee whenever, every time they want it to be renewed.
I see. So I believe your project is the length is a very long time because you need to convince the government.
I mean, to be honest, that is actually what we thought when we started. And that's one of the reasons why we never wanted to raise funds, because we never knew whether this is going to fly, because it normally governments have a long cycles of closing. But we don't know. For some reason, we got bombarded with calls. So the breaking point was NEOM. So once everybody came to know that we were in NEOM city in Saudi, we got calls from the whole Middle East. Like one day, a mayor, a prince from Qatar calls and says, "Oh, we have a smart city called Lusail. This is where the football is happening. Would you like to come and do something for us?" And we were like, "We don't even know what exactly you're looking for." And then most of the Arab countries started calling us inbound, like Turkey, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan. The fact that we were in NEOM means we did something big. Even in Saudi, we have 33 cities lined up to launch the projects. And one city even signed a 10-year contract with us, where the whole city's revenue comes to our bank account and we share them back once every 3 months. So we take our money and then we return the money that is collected on behalf of the city from the residents, which is quite odd, right?
So you have the upfront charge. Also,
No. So for example, you paid the parking, right? Normally it should supposed to go to the city first. In this case, it will come to us. And all the parking fees, we will pay once in 3 months for them after taking our revenue share. So we take 70% for the first 3 years and they get 30%. And they agreed for it. And that's like a 10-year contract. And we start with parking, we start with transport, then comes water bills, energy bills, taxes, ports, shipping, logistics, like everything in the whole city.
What's the motivation for the city government? What's the
Data.
benefit for them?
Data. Because remember when I said most of the cities we deal with in the Europe are democratic, right? They want to win the elections. And the best way to know whether the city people are actually using the service or happy with the promises made by the mayor is the data. Because this application collects everything. They can do surveys, they can do live feeds, they can actually understand the pulse, what exactly they are looking for as a resident, where is the issues happening or complaints being generated. The most important thing that we always were asked is the data. How much can they control?
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, we got a surprise request from a city mayor in Poland asking us to tag every Ukraine refugee, where they would know how many of them are actually living in the city, so that the mayor doesn't need to focus on them asking votes for his next election. Ultimately, we rejected the whole project, but that is how much they're looking for controlling the data.
Then why the people who, if they lose their privacy, why they want to use it?
I mean, so again, this comes in the point where we need to draw the line. So that's why we tell them we don't do this kind of thing. Look, as much as you own the data as a city mayor, it doesn't give you the right to control the city's residents in the way you like it. You can see the data just to make a decision on what to be done. So our aim of this platform is to help the cities to invest in the infrastructure that benefits the people. For example, cycle lanes. Some places where the transport is good, but there is no usage, particularly buses that run empty. So they can switch from normal transport to on demand. When there is a ride, they can carpool everyone into one and then deliver it. So that was our aim. And also, if we can centralize all the payments, the city's finances would allow them to tap into more loans, because the revenue that flows through their account gives them more financial freedom as well. So this is how we propose to most of the cities, and kind of they accepted and said this is what they're looking for.
But why the resident have the incentive to use it?
Yeah, so for the residents, what we are providing them is the rewards. So every penny that they pay on the city app or they use the city service, they get a reward that can be used to offset the taxes or pay for other bills or anything. And the reason is because the city has a way to generate more revenue using the data, right? So we are offering that specific benefits to the residents too. Let's say like MX, you spend $1, you get 1 point, and that point can be offsetted by paying to some other else. Now, this way, the resident would also be happy to use the service because you're rewarding them.
Okay. So if the resident use your service, they don't need to download the other app?
No, nothing. Only one application, super app. For every city, there'll be one super app.
And other app who don't like you.
Of course they won't like, because because they think we are trying to make them a target. For example, the first resistance came from Uber in Latvia, because there was an instance where a girl was harassed in the Uber and she raised a complaint to the Uber platform. But for 2 weeks, none of them replied back to her. And she went into depression. And the city mayor was using that as a way to kick Uber out. But the people were complaining to him, if you remove Uber, we need an alternative service because you're stopping the whole thing. Now, this is when we told them, look, if Uber doesn't reply 2 weeks, you need to know that when the ticket was raised or what happened in the whole process. Now, if we ask them to give you the direct open API access to your platform, you will be able to track. You can find them. You can be the parent of every service provider within the city. And Uber kind of went nuts and like, you can't do it. We are a big corporation. We are based in the US. And I was like, guys, you're making money in the city. So you have an obligation and a responsibility to make the residents safe. If not, you can quit.
Oh. So in the end, what happened? Uber.
No, right now, so Uber said they're investigating, and City said if they don't agree to the plan which we proposed to them, they won't renew the license, which is ending in 2024 December.
Oh.
So of course they will come back, right? Uber doesn't want to lose money. They give a lot of incentives to the drivers, and they want them to be on there. And then Bolt, the other company said, "Oh, we are hoping to give access. We can give everything from day one. We can build the whole APIs for you."
Yeah.
But not every time we find this, because again, when I said we are only targeting small cities, right? And these cities are too small for companies like Uber. They don't want to come in because they think those people are too old. They don't use technology. So they don't want to waste time. But the local cab companies are complaining that they can't get rides when everything is digital. So this is where we tell to the city, guys, you can become a platform. Unlike Uber, who charges 25%, just charge them 10%.
Okay.
And tell them you are promoting your business. You're giving them more access to the people and the business. And yeah, the Uber, the drivers like the idea actually. They said to the mayor that they would like to spend upfront money, pay the government to register themselves, maintain, create the system and everything.
I see.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Hi. Yeah. Thank you, Rohit. Yeah, I think your presentation is really good. And yeah, I think that's indeed a very promising direction. Just like the previous attendee have mentioned. So yeah, basically we talk about the acceptance of the public. So I'm thinking, because currently the population is aging.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we want to move it to a smart city and we do everything through an application, probably the elders, they probably have some problem on that. So I'm thinking, if your company have thought about this or maybe have some potential solution to that.
No, of course. So when you saw that I mentioned healthcare, it's for the same reason, because you can't push old generation to become tech savvy overnight. However, but under the healthcare system, we are pushing them to give wearables with IoTs that would be connected to the local hospitals that allows them to track, particularly people who are living alone, to monitor the data, to monitor their health. And in a way, when there is an issue that is raised upon, that would automatically alert the local NHS or the hospital who can dispatch the ambulances and stuff. And as for the other services, this is where the on-demand transport comes into play, because most of these old generations are immune or prone to like fixed daily habits, like going to the healthcare checkup or walking in the park and all of this stuff. So we want to create a routine just for those elderly people and provide those route maps to the local transport companies for the city who will dispatch the vehicle and stuff. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think that partly answered my question. And I think like this kind of like what you probably will do in the healthcare industry can really help the elder people. Yeah, but I'm thinking probably it's, if we move everything to one application, maybe it will be like something in China. People have 支付宝 and also some electric payment method, and which means probably many other stores, they don't really support payment in cash, which really bring inconvenience to the elders.
Okay. I mean, for the payments, this is something which we are struggling to make the cities understand. Main reason is cities don't have control over the banks. It's not like, for example, in China, they have local banks in each city that can act as a bank for the vendors and stuff. However, in the Western world, there are only a couple of banks that control everything. And for smaller cities, they don't have the leverage in terms of the payments. However, I strongly believe after COVID, things changed a lot. Everything is tap and go, contactless, which has been like major part in most of the cities we work with. We even tried to go ahead and did an autonomous wheelchair project just to test on the people who cannot mobilize themselves, or who are too elderly to move or need support. However, due to the safety, we had to abandon that idea, because we felt like sometimes tech is prone to get hacked and stuff. And if something like this happens on the street, just like how Toyota faced an issue during the Olympics of the autonomous shuttle crashing someone. So we stopped it. And yeah, I mean, like you said, I would definitely say we are not a foolproof solution. We have a long way to go. We need to develop much better solutions and answers as well in the future. But we are taking baby steps.
Good, thank you. Oh yeah, and also one more question for you. I'm not sure if you mentioned that before. So, where do you have the pilot projects, in which country?
Middle East, Saudi Arabia.
Okay, I see. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just because they are not democratic and you don't need to follow the process. They already control everyone. They monitor
Yeah, that's a
everyone.
big advantage.
Yeah. So when we pitched the idea, they were like, "Oh wow, we love this idea. What do you need?" I said, "Data." They just gave me the access to the data, just like a
Wow.
kid getting a chocolate. And I was like, "No, no, no, I didn't mean like realistically. I will come back to you guys." And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, oh, this is the key. Just use whatever you want."
Wow, that's really nice. Because before I live in Germany, and the data
Oh
protection regulation is super strict there.
We are trying to work with a city called Augsburg. I think you must have known, right, in Germany.
Yeah.
And those guys were like, oh man, they were like, oh, you need to put everything in Augsburg. You need to go to Siemens office in Augsburg, convince them. I was like, what would you guys do then? And then we're like, okay, Germany is off the books. We're too small to take their shit.
Yeah, in Germany, that's definitely a super long process.
But now that you mentioned Germany, I would give a better example. You must have used RMV app, right?
What's the name again? Sorry.
RMV. Let me type here. RMV. So RMV is an app that was actually built by DB, Doshban.
Okay, then I definitely have used that. without knowing
Yeah,
its name.
but the thing is, yeah, because I used to work with some companies in Frankfurt for a while and Berlin. And in Berlin, there is an app called Jelby. So Berlin City gave a contract to a company called I forgot the name. Yeah, so they made the project called Jelby. They spent around 30 million euros just for transport because Berlin wanted to have their own transport application. And this is a 5-year contract. Uh, like you should be surprised, like Germany, they're a communist and they don't want to spend money on anything on technology. But Berlin wanted to show the world, no, we are forward. We are New York. And they spent crazy money. And most of the time you won't even understand because everything is in German. And when you try to translate, it uses Google Translate.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They're quite conservative. I was in
Yeah.
Berlin, by the way.
Okay, then you know, and this is something we offer to the cities. So, for example, in Saudi, we have an application, and the primary reason we got very good reputation is everything we did was human translation for Arabic. Because, and this is why we took our time. We needed to understand and adapt to local cultures, local words, because these things take a lot of importance for the residents to use an application.
Yeah.
And this is the difference between us and the US companies because US companies don't care. They give English and everything is Google Translate. And countries like Middle East, they care about their religion, they care about their language a lot. And if you don't connect them on that level, even your Google or Amazon, they don't care.
Sure. That sounds really interesting and funny.
Yeah, because half of Neom is employed by Western people. Like I know a lot of Neom employees are English, German, French people, and they can't speak Arabic, right? So that's why Saudi had to build a private airport within Neom that allows them to go to Europe and come back. Because when they go to customs, most of the customs officers in Saudi can only speak Arabic because that's the prime language. And these guys either speak French or English. So Neom wanted to show to the world we are a global country, we are a city futuristic. So they created a new airport. Why go through the process?
Yeah, I think you're right. So do you have any further plans on launching other pilot projects in other
So we
countries, maybe?
yeah, we have a lot of projects lined up, and this is where we are looking to raise funds for the same reason because
Okay.
most of the cities we don't want to ask them huge chunk of money because that comes with a responsibility. And we want to grow sustainable. So in the next 1 year, we are planning to launch 3 projects in 3 different continents. Again, this is to improve the product. So one we already have in Saudi, which is a 10-year contract. The
Yep.
next one would be Europe, ideally Azerbaijan and Poland. And the third one would be Africa, a country called Gambia. Yeah, we are choosing very small countries where even if we screw up, nobody cares. We won't be on the front page, like FTX, crypto, all this
Yeah,
stuff.
Poland is a nice choice.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you would be surprised about the conversations we have for smart cities. Particularly, I was talking to a mayor in Ankara, and he was asking to create NFTs on Ankara. And I was like, what are you talking? You guys are broke. You don't even have money. You're going through earthquakes and humanitarian crisis, and you want NFTs and Bitcoins. Yeah, sometimes it's very funny. Like they don't understand smart cities. And one mayor was, "Oh, we're a smart city. We have a smart garbage collection." I was like, "How many?" He said, "Like 3." I was like, "Wow, you have 3 dustbins and you're a smart city." Oh, what a way to say. Yeah, it's a lot funnier than you think. But yeah, we were lucky. So the mayors which we met, they happened to study kind of like overseas, and they are more educated than the typical politicians. So once they saw the value, they proposed me a kind of a proposition where if we end up doing project with them and they introduce me to another city, they want some introduction discounts for their services. So that was really good because it creates a competitive spirit between them. And for us, zero cost in business development. We don't need to go out and pitch.
Yeah,
The mayors can drink some vodka on the party and they pitch each other. They call me, I'll come with a contract. I'm like, guys, what do you want to sign?
yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, when talking about the raise funding, yeah, because you said you already have some connections in Berlin, and according to my knowledge, actually, yeah, German government, especially Berlin, the government, they really support a lot for the technology-based company. So yeah, if you want, I think
They
that's
do
a big picture.
support. However, there is a Brexit thing that happened. So we got
Yeah.
invites from them saying, oh, hit us up when you move your office to Germany. I was like,
I see. Okay. Maybe starting a branch here is
no,
all
no,
that.
no, 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 no. They need headquarters because
Oh my
we
God.
were also
Okay.
invited for Horizon 2030, that European fund
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah, I know
innovation and
that.
stuff. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, guys, you're Brexit, you're in the UK. I was like, what? We never expected that Brexit would affect us as well. Even the US is the same. US had the same issue. Even China. So when we started conversation with Chinese, particularly Hikvision was very interested because we have like couple of city contracts where we are supposed to do on-street parking, which involves a lot of cameras. And then all of a sudden, there is a change where you can't transfer money overseas from Chinese currency. And they are like, oh,
Yeah.
guys, sorry. Then we were talking with Tencent in Germany, and they're like, guys, we had to cut down and move the money back. I'm like, oh, nice. Then comes DD. It's like wherever we touched, there was like a kind of a roadblock.
Oh,
Um, but in the UK, why we stayed is because we have SEIS and EIS enterprise scheme, which is very beneficial for the companies to save taxes. And also the fact that we are more neutral to be able to support Europe, Middle East, and other countries. And for some reason, Middle Eastern people love London. If you say you're a London company, they don't think twice to talk to you. But if you say a
okay.
Berlin company, they're like, oh, we
Wow.
love London.
Wow.
So,
All right. Yeah, got it. Some political issue.
I mean, it's not political. It's like most of the Arab people love to flaunt their wealth in London, right? Like bring the cars, drive, live in Hyatt, like big hotels. So whenever I say, guys, let's have a Zoom call, they're like, no, 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 I'm flying in weekend. Why don't we just meet in this Regent's Park? I was like, no. Why can't we just talk on the call, explain the solution? It's not like I'm going to show you in real life. Yeah, so London has this magic for Middle East, actually.
Cool. Thank you.
Uh, how just we just talk about the money. Normally, how you get the money by the app? Do you use a Stripe or use what?
No, so Stripe is not available in every country. Again, Stripe doesn't like to work in countries that doesn't have much business for them. And that's our advantage. In Saudi, we have a local payment gateway, and that's why we are unique. We work with STC Pay, which is like Alipay. So STC is owned by the government of Saudi Arabia, and they created an STC Pay to process every transactions. And we are only one of the few companies that has that payment gateway. So in Saudi, we are set. And then we in Jordan, we have similarly like the same one. We only use Stripe where it is available, but most of the countries except Poland, they don't have Stripe. Azerbaijan, Turkey doesn't even have PayPal.
Okay.
And that's our market because there is no one who would come and threaten us saying, tomorrow I will create an app, has a payment gateway. Because for these countries, we are supposed to talk to the bank and create the payment gateway. And the city normally helps us to get access to the bank's gateways.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, we are in a very niche market and attractive at the moment. And I think like most of the times, big companies doesn't like to invest their resources, particularly in this period of time when there is an economic downturn, to invest in infrastructure in small cities. And this is where we go in and tell them, look, guys, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to switch all your existing assets. What we can do is we can upgrade them into a smart city products by adding IoTs. Sometimes we even use Raspberry Pis to override and make it more powerful, just so it can become smart camera or smart equipment.
Different city have different infrastructure and different data. Then you all need to be learning how to use it.
Yeah. Again, like I said, nobody works in city IT department, particularly not someone who studied in Tsinghua or Peking or MIT is there. So most of the IT guys are someone who tries to fix internet, Wi-Fi, reboot systems. So that's why we made the platform as a kids platform, as you saw, right? It's drag and drop, and anything they want to do, we are just like a second away. We will be monitoring it, and that's where the artificial intelligence kicks in to reboot or to do like basic fixes if there is any. But when it comes to the data, that's why we don't want to touch the data, because these guys are dumb. They might use it for their own purpose, or sometimes they might not even know that they're downloading the data. So we made the permission so robust that if one person from one department needs to access the data, it automatically sends a log to the relevant people, like this data has been downloaded and this is how much data is on the public. So you know who is accountable, who is responsible for. Or else they will just say, Rohit, you gave the platform, there is a leak. Oh, we deal with it every day, like Neo, like, Rohit, this is not working. Let's say AWS is down. Rohit, we are not able to book. I was like, guys, AWS is down. I can't do anything there.
But you don't need to collect the data. They local people, the government, they collect the data for you.
Yeah, I mean, we are supposed to set up the infrastructure on where the data is collected, right? And that's where our role ends. So once we set up everything, we hand over. Typically, we do expect 90-day timeline from the day we sign the contract to be able to make them come to a speed. And that's why most of the cities are super excited. Once they see the platform, they were like, as if you go to a restaurant and take in the menu, like, I want starter, main dish. Like, they were like, smart parking, smart. Like, guys, in the smart transport, there is like sub levels. So choose one so that you understand, you get accustomed with the system. You would be able need to know, right? What is the endpoint of each system? And then gradually you can add on. And also you just don't want to launch everything when you can't pay. So we tell them, look, this is where your revenue is generating. Launch the service, you generate revenue, you can pay us the bill. Then gradually, when you are in a self-sufficient phase, then you can launch a POC, which doesn't cost much and doesn't need our resources as well. We are a very small team. We are not like, Facebook, Meta.
How big is your team?
Just 6 people.
Just 6 people. Wow.
Yeah. But
How
we
long
work 24 hours a day almost.
How long it take you to develop this product?
So we have the demo and we have the couple of products already built and they're generating revenue on a monthly basis. We get around $7,000 a month in terms of recurring revenue. And we are planning to grow it to 20,000 a month once we launch the 10-year contract in January or February. So I would say 2 to 3 months, not more than that, because we already have the architecture built. We already have the whole documentation done, everything.
So if an investor come in, what do you think their expected return? How long they can live?
Our aim is to generate at least $500,000 from each city on yearly basis on SaaS revenues. And if we can get 4 cities at $500,000 SaaS revenues, I don't think we need to raise funds again. We can be the next Zapier, because that would create a lot of profit. Again, like this is where most investors confuse. They think we are trying to build tailored products for each city, which we are not. So that's why we are targeting smaller cities. So when we go to them, we tell them, guys, you can't choose when you can't pay upfront. So use what use what we have, make money, then come back and ask me to give me something new.
Okay.
And first project which we started is where we already got paid. So that's how we were able to make $1.3 million revenue in less than 18 months. Because we are also making money on the hardware sales, in which we don't have anything to do. We just connect the Chinese manufacturer to the Saudi guy, and we take 40% margin just to translate between these two people and connect IoTs. Yeah, for the investors, it's a long game. I'm not gonna lie saying, oh, this is gonna be $1 billion in like next 24 months. However, it's like a one-time investment, right? We don't need to build everything every time. Once we build it, it's only on the scale up. As fast as we can move in plugging in more cities, you become monopoly in certain markets very fast. And once you reach to that point, our target is to get exit in less than 5 years. Because companies like Cisco, Intel, these are the companies that can handle this kind of data and infrastructure in the future. And we don't want to fight with them, like go to PE, equity phase financing, dip ourselves, in non-ending calls, negotiations and stuff. And again, we are working closely with PIF, the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, the PIF, the world's, yeah, funny enough, the city which signed 10-year contract is owned by PIF. 25% of the shares is owned by them. So when we went like, guys, why don't you write us a check for one? They were like, come back when you need 100 million. I was like, no, thanks. If you give me 100 million, the first thing I'm going to do is go car shopping or buy a property in London. Because we don't need that much money. And we don't want to have too much money either, because that's going to derail our plan. We want something sustainable, which allows us to grow the product and be more self-sustained rather than relying on funds, spend marketing, do some kind of ads and stuff. Yeah. We want only product-based, product-focused revenue generating.
If the investor, the return, is it mainly based on the exit, or they have a dividend every year?
Dividend. Like I said, once we have 3 cities, once we have 3 cities, we can start issuing dividend. Again, the current structure of our shareholding is very clean, like only 2 co-founders. We bootstrapped, right? Everything. We never took a penny out. So we put ourselves like $300,000 and we were able to make $1.3 million revenue. So the whole shareholding pattern is between me and Martin. It's like 100% and some employees. So that's why we wanted someone as an investor who, like not like typical, I want returns in 12 months, target and stuff. No, you will definitely get dividend returns, but not like millions of dollars. Paper valuations are not our thing. We don't like to do like paper valuations, like, all of a sudden you become a billionaire and 2 months later you will be in jail or you won't even be able to find your name anywhere. Because particularly dealing with cities, you need to be very responsible which money to take. Because we had Russian investors before the war and we were talking to them in Dubai. And then all of a sudden, once we touch them, we can't touch any other investors. Like they're willing to sign a check of $2 million. They said like, fine, we are happy. But the problem is that might be the first and last time we ever see investors' face. They might label us as the black sheep. TRC took money from Russians. They're Russian spies. They will collect the data and sell them. I'm not joking. Even Martin, when he comes to the investors meeting, they say, oh, are you associated with Chinese Communist Party? I'm like, guys, what's wrong? Not everyone who is Chinese has like Xi Jinping's friend or something. Yeah. But that's the world we are living in.
I think I can take up a lot of time. Grace, you have any question? Sissy,
I don't have more question. I think it's very interesting to listen.
I hope I didn't ruin your Friday evening plans.
No.
Talking smart cities and stuff.
You are a very interesting guy. We hope we can meet offline soon.
Okay. Of course. I'm based here. You just tell me when you're free. We can grab a coffee or something.
Where is your office?
We used to have office in Vauxhall, but we are working more hybrid at the moment. So I'm based in Clapham. Martin is based near Kennington. So we work near Vauxhall and Waterloo, like we work.
So you also run WeWork?
Yeah, like on demand, like pay as you go.
Oh, okay.
So whenever we want to go to the office, we just book for the day. We go pop in and we work from there. or else we use coffee shops. And recession, right? We need to make the investors know that we are not spending money left and right. It's
But
all
if
about
there's no investment, you still can survive and go.
yeah, we can. It's not like we can't, but the fact that we kind of agreed to sign the contract is became a liability at the moment, because we never expected the city would move that fast. So that was the reason why we proposed a revenue share in the first place, thinking the city would definitely reject. Because I told them, like, for 10 years, right? They said, like, we want 50-50. I was like, for the first 3 years, I won't pay you a penny, because I need to recover my cost. And after 3 years, I will pay you 30% for the next 5 years. And the last 2 years, I'll give you 50-50. And I thought they would push back, but unfortunately, they just said, oh, nice proposal. We agree. Let's sign. So it's kind of like something which you don't expect suddenly comes and hits on your face. And now I'm just pushing the contract back. They said, like, let's start in November, and I had to make a play like, guys, it's 2023 end. You don't want to start now because there won't be any progress. Let's start 2024 January. You can say 2024 is when you started the project. But yeah, we are actively looking to raise funds because we want to make sure we are ready to sign the contract in a more better position. And not worry about, like, relying on their funds, because for the first month we might not see any revenues. As like you said, it's hard for them to understand how to run the system, particularly when it comes for the whole city. So for the first month, we think it would be more like a soft launch, making them understand, or like make the users use it for free until and unless they get to a point where they're comfortable to share everything and migrate.
So the investment is mainly used for recruiting people.
No, product development.
What do you
Why recruiting people now that we have ChatGPT, OpenAPI and stuff? We should use them, right? Like we have. So my team is my strength. If I had to say something, like, because these guys are the best that ever happened to the TRC. Because even when we are trying to aim high, these guys has always assured that we can achieve it. And like you said, even if we don't make money, even if we don't raise investments, we can still keep going on, because everyone comes from a diverse background, which exactly fits like a puzzle pieces. So we know where we fit, particularly the backend, front end, server deployments, IoTs, everything. So that's the strength. If I had to say, like, it's not the vision or the product, it's the team, because they created a massive future plan that doesn't need us to hire anyone. We can just feed it into the open API and everything is ready. The recipe is there. It's just like, feed it, let it do the work. Whenever we are getting paid, we'll just use the service.
Is your product is a software or just an API?
Sorry, come again? I didn't know.
Is your product is a software, SaaS software, or just
yeah,
API?
It's a SaaS. No, it's a SaaS platform. Yeah, it's a SaaS platform. Yeah.
Can I ask a more technical question? Your platform is using the front end using like React.js.
Yeah, the front end is React, the back end is Java. And core Java is what we use on the back end. Front end is React.js. Most of the platform is built on that. And the applications that we have are native applications, Swift and Flutter for Android, Swift for iOS as well.
But the server, you must have a server cloud.
Yeah, the cloud infrastructure is AWS. We use everything on the AWS.
Yeah. AWS, okay.
Yeah. Because we got credits from them, so we can't be disloyal to them.
How can you get credit for the use? Because you in a small company, or
no, just apply to multiple accelerators. We get in. Each one gives you $5,000 credits as becoming a part of their accelerator. Redeem them.
Okay.
We just got Google Cloud $100,000 credit as well for the Google.
Okay, I see. Now I understand. Okay, guys， 还有什么问题吗？没有。拍这视频啊，就 we can， 但是
Yeah, let me drop my email here. So if you have any guys, if you have any other questions you would like to know, I'm very much happy to have a call or meet and explain more and stuff if you're really interested.
Okay.
You got the WeChat, Rohit, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You have
Right?
WeChat.
Your WeChat is on the group.
Yeah, I just saw my group because Martin sent me WeChat. We only use WeChat when he's in China. Normally we are more Slack and iMessage. But yeah, let me drop. Yeah.
So just like maybe feel free to like contact you by WeChat or email or something.
I just realized. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very nice talk. Very interesting. Okay. Have a good
Yeah,
weekend.
let's plan a meet or something, and maybe I'll give you a shout out after the call, and we can catch up.
Yeah.
I think I got the messages now.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Let's wrap it up then.
Yeah.
Thank you all to join this like sharing. And if you have more questions, like you can like put the question in the group, and we can like continue to discuss that. Yeah.
Sure. I would love that.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great
you.
weekend, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too.